McKnight family, thank you for your patience, your restraint, and your trust in the process and in this organization. It has brought about, for the most part, a sense of calm in this community and set a tone that was necessary in order for us to do the job that we needed to do. Now, there's been many questions about the decisions that were made by this organization relative to this investigation that started on Thursday. Friday, we had a press conference to try and bring about a sense of calm that I was not able to, at that point in time, out of an abundance of caution, to not taint witnesses that we knew that we were looking for, and I'll explain how we knew, but felt that it was important to try and bring about that sense of calm in the community. Thursday evening, we had a statement by Mr. Gasser. We had no corroborating statements, and we had no contradictory statements of witnesses that we were able to gather that evening. So I had a statement. In this state, whether we like it or not, we have a very forward-leaning, stand your ground, self-defense, justifiable homicide laws, however you want to refer to it, that is very much in an affirmative fashion that creates for us an obligation to make sure that we get it right. Justice has no time period. Justice is not a sprint, it is a marathon. These investigations are marathons. In fact, it is not uncommon, and there's nothing that we've done in this case out of the ordinary or that is unusual, and I can point to hundreds of cases whereby we've identified shooters or otherwise, accused perpetrators that we know have committed a crime that we do not arrest at the point in time of us knowing that, whether there's an admission or not, for strategic reasons in an investigation. Because our arrest is only as good as a prosecution. We accomplish nothing if we make an arrest and we can't put ourselves in the best posture, there are no guarantees, to reach a successful prosecution. So for those who have criticized the men and women of this organization and the strategy decisions that we made relative to that, tough. I don't care. Because what I know is that I can put my head on the pillow every night knowing that we've done the right thing for the right reasons. To give you an example, Mr. Gasser never did ask for an attorney. We have over 10 hours of non-custodial interviews with him and over 2 hours of a custodial interview with him. We got a consent search of his home, which I would have never had the probable cause to search his house, and so many other things that we were able to gain during the course of our interaction with Mr. Gasser, because what we were able to do strategically. In fact, while I was here Friday talking to you at 1 p.m. Friday afternoon, we had Mr. Gasser in a 3.5-hour interview asking him questions and circling in on his statement relative to what we knew and what we uncovered in the autopsy based on the forensics. I'll say again, if people don't think that we know what we're doing strategically and that we were going forward, as I said on Friday, in a deliberate and definitive way, tough. I don't care. We conducted over 160 interviews in this case. We identified 260 folks that we had an interest in talking to based on license plate recognition camera hits of multiple cameras in the location of this particular happenstance. We talked to over 70 business owners in an attempt to retrieve video. All of this since Thursday afternoon through yesterday at approximately 5 p.m., wherein in this very room we collectively came together and decided that we were prepared to draft an arrest warrant for the arrest of Mr. Gasser. As I pointed out on Friday, that there were witnesses we knew that existed that we did not yet have contact with, is exactly what happened in this case. On Saturday, we finally located a witness that was key to this case. And in fact, by happenstance, several other witnesses since Saturday, up until last night at 7 p.m., that we located yet another witness that was key to making this case. So just as I pointed out on Friday, and our suspicions that we were going to be able to get our hands around additional witnesses that would help in this case actually came to fruition. We conducted multiple crime scene reenactments with the assistance of the coroner's office on Friday, as well as Sunday, and again yesterday. We conducted multiple consultations with the coroner's office and the district attorney's office, as well as other seasoned prosecutors who were not with the district attorney's office as it relates to what we were doing in this case. Now, I just can't not address some other issues that I am very much disappointed in the conduct of some of the citizens of not only this parish but this country. And at some point in time, we're going to have to come to grips with and begin to talk about this dialogue and this rhetoric that's going on in this country. We started Thursday afternoon with a witness who lied. A witness who said that Gasser got out of his car, popped caps through the windshield of Joe McKnight's car, yanked him out of the car, and popped him again while he was on the ground, saying that he had voted for Donald Trump, and he was going to show him relative to that, and we were off and running. And you know why? Because some people wanted that story to be true. And it's what compelled me to have this press conference on Friday, was to try and bring a sense of calm and reasonableness to this, and to create a distraction from that, because that was the furthest from the truth. Thursday night, we were busy talking to witnesses. We had yet to run the the search warrants on the two vehicles in order to begin the forensic process of processing these vehicles, and we are off and running. We are off and running. That particular witness told 3 different stories in the span of an hour. Shame on that individual. Shame on that individual. And that started something going down a path that we collectively should be ashamed of ourselves. And we began to criticize people for just asking for pause. Let the process take its course. But no, that wasn't enough. We had to make demands. We want justice now. And if we don't get it now, and we don't get it our way, we're going to start saying things and doing things until we get it our way. It's not about the right thing. It's not about justice. And it's not about the process. It's about what we want and what we want now. And we don't care who we disparage in the process. I want to thank Councilman Mark Spears, Representative Rodney Lyons, Senator Troy Carter, and Representative Jimmy Harris for standing up. They're not paid to be law enforcement, but they stood up after conversations with me, and I explained to them what was going on and the difficulties of this case, and asked the community to relax, to pause, to show patience, to show tolerance. This isn't about race. Not a single witness has said up to this day that there was one racial slur uttered during the course of these events. And unfortunately, a life was lost. But you want to know something, folks? 2 people engaged in bad behavior that day. Why? I don't know. But they did. And we're going to criticize everybody else for just letting the process take the course. Our elected leaders that stood by me, and I want to thank them again, you are true leaders. You are credible leaders. You did not do what was in your best interest. You did what was in the best interest of the community, and you're suffering for it, and I feel bad for you. I do. And I'm sure you see the emotion in me, because it's not fair. It's not fair for him to be called, you punk-ass Uncle Tom Coon. We saw you sell out to them, you rat-ass faggot punk. That's the tone of what we're calling our elected leaders for standing up and simply saying, let justice prevail and let the process take its course. To go on to say, you ass-kissing faggot that has done little to our community.
We're going to pivot from this, what has been. First of all, let me apologize for some of the language we were not expecting. That is the sheriff from Jefferson Parish, Newell Norman, who used several, what he says were quotes directed at sheriffs in his department, slurs, racial slurs, and homophobic remarks that we were not prepared and did not quite honestly expect from the sheriff of a police department.